there currently and which could potentially be, roadblocks in student learning as well. So during the entire session, we will definitely be talking about, I know, every one of you will be having some, reservations towards technology, some against technology. So we will definitely have those views as well during the entire conversation that we'll be having. But from my perspective, since I also was someone who went on to prepare for IIT examination, cracked the IIT examination, graduated from IIT Kanpur, and then was in the teaching industry for around last 12, 13 years. So I was training a lot of students, but in the most traditional way that you can think of. But then after the advent of technology, especially after the corona pandemic, a lot has changed. The way the students are learning, the way students are communicating, the way students are consuming knowledge is taking a huge paradigm shift. And we need to address these issues. So the platform is basically, this platform is basically to talk about on all those aspects. So when we say the promising trends, which could be there in the learning aspect of a student is, the concept of personalized learning. Now, in the current curriculum delivery, in the current classroom structure, it becomes difficult to provide one-to-one tutoring or one-to-one mentoring to students. But when we bring technology into play, then technology definitely has the potential to provide solution to this personalized learning approach, where we would be able to recognize students' potentials in terms of their unique strengths, unique weaknesses, and the interests. And by leveraging technology, we can definitely create customized learning plans and offer adaptive assessments, which will definitely be able to highlight those shortcomings, those challenges that student might be having in their preparation journey and in their learning processes. And through highlighting those issues, we can definitely come up to a solution, as in how to overcome those. So technology definitely will be able to empower us in that area. One of the ways of arriving to give a personalized learning solution to the students is an assessment-led learning. Now, we have always been seeing assessments to be the end of the entire learning journey. Like first you learn and then you give tests. So tests and assessments are always have been considered to be the last leg of the entire learning process. But through assessment-led learning, we can definitely integrate these assessments in the learning process, because that will not only highlight the needs and necessities of each and every individual in order to have an effective learning, but will also be able to generate a lot of insights, as in why and where and how these shortcomings, these challenges, and these problems of students can be, answered and can be overcome. Students will be able to overcome. So this was just the aspect of the students, right? But it definitely plays a lot of important role on the tutors front as well, because not only the students will be able to identify, the tutors at the same time will be able to also gain those insights about how students are learning, what are the needs and changes in the curriculum and the pedagogy that needs to be incorporated for a more effective learning of the students. Because see, at the end, we educators are here to not just provide the curriculum learning to the students, but rather make responsible citizens who will be able to not just contribute good towards their own future, but also towards the nation building, right? So we carry not just the burden of educating students, but we also carry the burden of building a nation. And if we are, then definitely technology is somehow going to play a very important role. So when we talk about having technology incorporated from the students' front and the students' perspective, the outputs could be personalized learning, self-reflection and growth. But apart from all these, there is a very important segment that could be highlighted through bringing technology into the curriculum and into the learning prospect, is the accountability of the students. Now, somehow over the last 3-4 years, I feel like this aspect has somehow taken a back seat on the students front, because today I can clearly see a lot of students being completely dependent on the schools and the tutors, and rather they are not coming forward to take the accountability of the preparation journey or the preparation or the learning that they must have. So using technology and the tools, definitely we can think of bringing that accountability back, accountability of learning, accountability of being responsible, accountability of contributing a sense of achievement and a contribution towards not just our own learning and development, but overall the nation's development. And for tutors also, we can definitely arrive at solutions which will be targeting to ensure that we do provide targeted instructions to each and every individual by understanding their own personal needs, the students' personal needs rather. And then by understanding those needs, we can devise a feedback and support mechanism to help students. See, we can clearly, in a classroom of 50, 60 odd students, we can clearly see that some of the students actually do perform good, but there are many who actually feel left behind from the entire, the learning process. So it is not just important to help the students who are actually doing good, but it is equally more important to help the students who are actually feeling left behind. So how would we be able to, help that one particular child who feels that he is completely behind the race of learning and entire development process? So how can we help that one particular child to be able to, come up to the level of all the other students in the class? Then progress monitoring is something that we can do very meticulously using the tools of technology and the ways in which we can come up with the insights which will be able to help us not just monitor, but also give us ideas of evidence-based decision making. Evidence-based means through assessments. When we are talking about assessment-led learning, then through assessments we'll be able to identify that where exactly the child is facing a problem, and that too substantiated with the evidence of data and the insights that come through assessments. So that also empowers us as tutors to take decisions on the behalf of students to help them not just excel, but be confident individuals as well. So these are some of the aspects that that could be brought on, and these are precisely the challenges and the areas where we as a company, education company, are trying to work on, and definitely have worked on and have brought the product Q&I in the market, which basically highlights all these areas and challenges. See, learning is not about just learning. Learning is also to identify that where exactly I am making a mistake. And the main problem that many of the students are actually facing is to identify those areas where they actually are falling behind or actually are, not able to perform well. If the identification can be done in a better way, then definitely the remedial actions and the recommendations could be given more precisely to help the students, overcome those challenges and the shortcomings. So when we talk about the entire academic curriculum, we can definitely divide it into two segments. One is the curriculum where the students do go through journey of from class 1 to class 10th. and 11th and 12th. That is the school curriculum that we are talking about. But there is a separate segment, and that is the aspirational education that the students are, looking towards, like competitive examinations at the class 11th and 12th level of engineering and medical entrance examinations, because these are aspirational in nature. Students' aspirations are not just stopping at the level that I need to score good in my 10th and 12th board examination, but now aspirations have gone beyond that, that I need to score well in my competitive examinations like JEE and NEET, so that I'll be able to take admission into the prestigious IITs, AIMS, and many colleges of this prestige. So that not just I as a student will be able to learn a lot of career based or career driven programs, but I'll also evolve as an individual who will be able to contribute not just to my success but the country's success overall, because in the coming future we are looking to become the $5 trillion economy and one of the superpowers of the nation. And that can only be achieved if we have individuals coming forward and contributing towards that goal. And this is what we think, that education and technology, when amalgamated in a proper way, will be able to achieve that. So these are my views, my thoughts, my starting, comments. And then I'll definitely invite all the people here, dignitaries here, to share their thoughts, what they feel like, how can technology, revolutionize education, shape the students' future, bring more efficiency in learning, and at the same time, what could be, the possible drawbacks of having, too much technology into education. So I now, bring again Sandeep back into picture, and then
thank you so much,
carry
sir.
forward there.
And so very aptly put. But before I move on to our wonderful panel of esteemed principals, I would quickly go on to our very very special guest and a very dear friend of mine personally, Dr. Brijesh Karya, who is the CEO of Singhania Education. I think he is one of the most stalwart personality present today in Indian education system, where he has transformed the education system, especially for the Singhania group. So, sir, your take on 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 what sir has put up as a concept.
Sure, sure. First and foremost, thank you for having me here, Sandeep, and the Q&A group. I'm absolutely thrilled and honored to be here in presence of stalwarts like Vasudha ma'am. I'm sure it's going to be a great and a fantastic panel, right? So with your permission, if I can just share a couple of screens that I had just ready for you all. If I can just share my screen quickly.
Yeah, please.
So what I want to take you all through is a few student attributes. We are dealing with a modern day child. Is my screen visible to all of you?
Yes.
Yeah. So basically what we are doing is dealing with the 21st century child who is no longer the child that he was 40 years back or 50 years back. So yes, technology is of paramount importance. I absolutely agree, right? So whenever we talk about technology with teachers, usually there's a fear that, okay, tech will come and replace me, which is never going to happen. Teachers are irreplaceable. However, a technology using teacher will definitely replace a teacher who doesn't use technology. That is something that I can for sure assure all of you, right? And that's why we need to first understand the mindset of the children. Today's children are global citizens, right? They talk about various colleges, various universities, various associations, right from when they're in grade 8, grade 9. They know what the Ivy Leagues are. They know which college is best for engineering, which college is best for design. So they're absolutely global citizens given the exposure that they're having nowadays through the model of internet, right? Second, they're adaptive learners. When we were students, I remember very clearly, you either had to opt for science or commerce or arts, which is now called humanities in many places, right? Which is not the case anymore. They're very adaptive. They try science, they don't succeed. They make a fantastic career out of commerce. If not commerce, humanities. If not all these three, we have seen many new professions. Many of them are YouTube channel runners. Many of them are Instagram influencers, musicians, sportsmen, which is brilliant. The kind of adapting speed that today's children have. Nobody has had it in the past, right? Third, they're collaborative learners. They work well in teams, they work well in groups. So project-based learning, customized learning path can only happen through technology. In a classroom, if I am a teacher and I've got 40 students in front of me, in those 35 minutes, I can't do 40 different things for 40 students. But if I have a technology tool at my disposal, I can definitely make sure that once the children reach home, I can have 40 different assignments for 40 different students. That's the beauty of using technology, right? They are digital natives, which is very, very critical. I'm sure everybody will agree with this. I remember during COVID in one of the schools in South India, they used to have these MCQ tests online, and there's a software called as Discord. So the moment the teacher used to put up questions on the online portal, one of the children used to post all the answers on the Discord server, the others would copy it, and the whole class would end up scoring full marks. So sometimes even the teacher started wondering, am I such a good teacher that mere padhane ke baad sabko full marks aa jate hain, right? So they are digital natives. The kind of exposure that they have to take, our teachers will have to upskill and make sure that they are there. And of course, today's children are forward looking. They've got communication skills, learning and innovation skills, life and career skills, and of course, information and technology skills. So if you're dealing with such children, you need to understand that they have 5 qualities. One is they're inquisitive in nature. I'm sure everybody will agree that nowadays in our classrooms, why is very often a question. For example, when we were students, we were asked, rather we were told that every action has an equal and opposite reaction. We would say yes, sir, or yes, ma'am. But today's children will question, why is it so, man? Can you take us more in detail and explain us? Right? They're very confident, purposeful, sociable, and of course, flexible. So, keeping these things in mind, the teachers have to undergo a massive change and definitely start using technology. I'm a firm believer. However, the roles have to be clear. The teacher is excellent at teaching, so teachers have to focus on teaching, making the child understand. And nowadays the learning has to be student centric, so teachers don't have to be a sage on the stage anymore. They can be a guide by the side and make sure that the children are doing well. Technology can be used for better revision, better understanding, better practice, better assessments. Not only that, with technology you can get data, a lot of data, which is beautiful for carving out customized learning paths for children. So I think technology is the future, definitely, because if you see majority tech exams in India, the competitive ones especially, are moving online. If you see CLAT has gone online, CAT has gone online, majority CETs across the states are happening online, JEE Advanced has moved online, NEET has moved online. So it's only a matter of time that these things come to our school level also. So are we preparing our children for the future, for the exams that they have to write in future? I think tech is the solution. However, there has to be a fine balance. As I said, the teacher's role is extremely clear. The tech role has to be defined properly. Together, the teacher and technology are a winning combination. I can promise you that. So that's from my side.
Great. So,
Thank you so much, Brijesh sir. It was such a, it's always such a pleasure to listen to you with
Thank you
all
so
the
much.
knowledge, and I'm sure uh, you know whatever you would have said, this could have been explained in a couple of hours, in a complete session as well. And we would love to do a session
Sure.
on your presentation as well. In the meanwhile, let's move on to our amazing panel. To introduce you first, we'll have Dr. Vasudha Neelmani ma'am, who's the principal of Rockwoods International School. Welcome, ma'am,
Thank you.
on the panel. Uh, we have Ms. Reena Umashankar ma'am with us, who's the principal of our RSK International School. Uh, we are having a couple of, I think, 3 or 4 more educators who would be joining us, a little later. Uh, there has been a storm that has happened in Chennai, I believe, and that is the reason why there is some network issues that at some places that they have said to our team. So we'll be joined by Ms. Reema Umashankar, who's the principal of RSK International School, uh, Mr. Dr. A.S. Prabhu, who's the chairman of SPK GEM School. We already have with us Mohammad Azhar Sir, who's the principal of Knowledge Academy School. We'll also be joined by Ms. Jaya Murli Nagarajan, who's the principal of Sri Kumaran Public Senior Secondary School. Mohammad Azizur Rahman ji, who's the chairman of Tarbaya Cambridge International School. Ms. C. Vijayalakshmi ma'am, I think is here, Principal Agarwal Vidyalaya and Junior College. Dr. Nalini Wilson, who's the principal of St. John's Senior Secondary School. And last but not the least, Ms. R.S. Geeta, who's the principal of Sri Venkateshwara Group of Schools. We also have with us Ms. Prerna R., who's the principal of White Eagle Public School. Welcome, ma'am, for this amazing session of ours. A few people have started joining in. I request my backend team to keep an eye, and I leave this amazing session to the fine hands of Dr. Vasudha ma'am to take it away from here, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone, to the panelists and the audience out there. So, yes, creativity and innovation goes hand in hand. And I must say that Mr. Brijesh Karya has set the tone of the webinar well. We talk about, of course, we talk about 21st century skills. We talk about students being digital learners, digital natives these days. And I will take it from there, his last sentence where he said that teachers and technology will make a very good combination. So the time has come wherein we are in the 21st century. We are already, we are dealing with the alpha generation and Gen Z who already are who are very high on metacognition. They are very high order thinking skill students, and wherein they would like to know how and whys of the thing, and that's very critical. And gone are the days where when questions were asked, so teachers used to feel offended about it, that this is not in the course. But here we are expected to be there with all the answers, or if we don't know the answer, we can just tell them, let's find the answer together. So that's where I come from. And when we talk about the timeless C's, and with the other edition, which is called growth versus fixed mindset, if we want to incorporate these skills in our students, of course, we as educators must possess these skills of 21st century, where it is creativity, where it is critical thinking, where it is communication, collaboration. And the time has come for the collaborative intelligence, wherein we all share the best practices, what we are doing, and how we can take it further. Commenting on the assessment, I have always felt, and it has been since I started my career almost 30 years ago, that assessment must always be for learning. It is not to judge the students. It is not to label the students. It is to ensure that how well an educator or a teacher has taught and how well a child has understood. And if there are any learning gaps, so how we can bridge those gaps wherein a student is there to understand the concepts. We talk about technology, we talk about AI, we talk about augmented learning, but at the same point in time, let's face the fact, and let's face the reality that we are a country with around 65-70% of the students are from rural background, and where, forget about internet technology, where accessibility to education is a biggest challenge, I would say. So the how we bridge the gap, that is again, how we bridge the gap between a K-12 learning and the higher education is another factor. And now I would be sticking to the to our topic, where it is creativity and innovation. And I think my all the co-panelists who are the principals and who might have got the experience of same that I have, or maybe more or less, they will agree with me. As teachers, we were innovative, we were little proactive, and that's why we are where we are. And most of the colleagues of ours who are still the teachers, who are still, so that a little bit of innovative approach, creativity, and that must be missing there. So I will first of all I will go to Miss Vijay Lakshmi. How do you think that, we always, or either it is a CBSE school, IB school, Cambridge school, so we have a set pattern of curriculum that we have to follow, and of course the time now demands that we need to be creative, we need to be innovative, we have to blend technology in between. So how do you think we can strike the balance between completing the curriculum and having the innovation and creativity streak alive? Over to you.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for having me in this panel. Madam, as you have already mentioned, and the discussion is going on, like standard curriculum should not get deviated because of all these innovative things and technology. Technology is coming up, and as you say, 70%, 65 to 70% of the students are out of technology, so we need to balance striking. We need to have a striking balance. So this structured curriculum where we have a system for each level should be balanced with the creative thinking. So what I would suggest is or what we practice is when we are in the class, the curriculum based and the creative thinking can be blended together. And to avoid rote learning, as Sir said, teachers can become a partner or a participant in the activities whichever is conducted in the class and make the class more innovative. So because of this COVID, as we all thought, the children have become little lazy and inattentive. So it is very difficult. It's a difficult task for the teachers to make the children sit for 40 minutes. So it is very, very important that the students frame the curriculum well in advance with the project learning or a peer group thing or a quiz or some activities which will make the children understand the concept, because concept learning is very, very important. Though we have technology which will explain, it cannot match the real-time teaching with the teachers, with the tutors. So making the students understand, we need to have sessions with the students, activities which will make them understand clearly the concepts. So we need to have, suppose you have a 7-period a week, we need to have at least 20 minutes or 10 minutes in a class, which would make them understand the concept with the activities. So activities should be well in advance prepared by the teachers and implemented in the class so that the child will not get bored and also understand the concept, because now children are students, they're modern learners, they have all the information in the Google. So they need little more extra information from the teachers. So teachers should be more advanced. They should update their knowledge and implement in the class. That's what I would like to say.
Thank you, Ms. Vijay Lakshmi. I would love to have, if anybody wants to add something to what Ms. Vijay Lakshmi said, if there is something new, any new point you want to add, you can just raise your hands so that we can unmute them and give them chance. If anybody wants to add something in addition to what Ms. Vijay Lakshmi said. Anyone? Otherwise, I'll move on to the next question. Okay, so moving on to Ms. Geeta. So for you, students are very focused in learning numeracy, literacy, the scientific skills in schools. And there is another much talked about set of skills that creativity and innovation talks about. And according to you, what are these skills and what is the significance of creativity and its impact on students' lives? Ms. Geeta.
Happy evening, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity. Great to be with all principals and also with the moderator. As you rightly said, ma'am, we are in the alpha generation. So I personally feel that education is not filling of cranes, it is actually lighting of fire. The more and more the world gets complex, the more and more we are in the urge of making our students, making ready our students to be more creative. So I strongly believe the future of education is definitely not in classrooms. And it is to make ready our students to confront their obstacles. So that is where our future of education lies. And also I feel that there is a lot of education sectors are emphasizing on the holistic learning approach where we have to lay our eyes on and how we prepare our students towards success and how we make them to get ready for failures, to confront their failures. And as far as creativity is concerned, and I hope that that is a buzzword which we are listening often in recent days, that is incorporating entrepreneurship and design thinking. And these two are the buzzwords in the education field nowadays. So incorporating these two, it fosters the creativity and innovations. And even in curriculum, it could have been in open-end questions. Open-end questions can be asked. It is a lot of giving chance and freedom of expressions to students. So the purpose is to create thinkers, madam. The purpose is not to create a stereotype products. The purpose is to create thinkers. And I strongly believe it only great citizens and good educators can be great thinkers, and the talk sessions can stimulate innovation and creativity. So I believe that that should have been included in the part of the curriculum. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Mr. Azhar, would you like to give your inputs on the same question, please?
Yeah. So to me, the culture of innovation, culture of creativity, it is a question of like, are we? It's rather doing something. I would suggest, or I would recommend that it's a kind of culture we get created in our schools. Like for example, you put a question and there is no. So when we interact, like as managements, as principals, when we interact with teachers, uh, that's the approach we shall bring it up. From there, starting from there, like each and every aspect of the child, like for, or in terms of classrooms, or in terms of corridors, wherever it is, whenever we interact, that kind of kindling the creativity and innovation shall happen. That is my take, and that is what I will suggest. For example, let me give two examples. Okay, so that will help them to innovate in every aspect of their work. And at the same time, when it comes to children, when they ask what is the right answer, or when they do some project, giving them the solution, we ask them to discover and give them a kind of questioning skills, develop them in their questioning skills, and develop them in is what I would suggest. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So my next question to any one of the Q&I team would be that according to you, how can educators effectively assess and evaluate students' creativity and innovation in the classroom? So I think any one of the Q&I team can answer that, please.
Yes, ma'am, we can give projects. We can.
I'm saying only Q&I team, ma'am. Q&I team.
Anurag, you are on mute.
Would you want to take it or should I go ahead?
Go ahead.
Okay, so technology, ma'am, I agree that we all agree that creativity and innovation should be nurtured. But a very, very key problem or a challenge that the teachers face is how to assess how the students are doing. So as Vijay Lakshmi ma'am was also talking about coming up with content. So one of the things that we start to do as QNI or as a company, a technology edtech company, is to start building content that aligns with such a need. So once you have projects, etc., that are designed to cater to such need, I think the first task of catering to what we need to ask from the students is sorted. The second is using the technology at each single step that the student engages with the platform or a technology solution, we get data. And it is not necessarily in the form of questions and answers, but in terms of any engagement that the child does with the platform, in terms of how much of time is he spending, how much of time is the child doing peer engagement, peer learning, collaborative learning. So all these aspects can be captured in the form of data on the platform, on a technology platform, which will help the teachers formulate a feedback or a recommendation mechanism in the class. So technology and the teaching can work in tandem in that way. So whatever projects, etc., that we devise through the content that we provide on the platform or the teachers provide in the form of projects, any kind of engagement that the child can do on the platform, be it through collaboration or the work that they do, can be captured and then formulated in the form of a structured feedback. So in that way, the technology solution will be able to provide some kind of a recommendation.
So you mean to say that this will play as a dual role for assessment and evaluation also? Absolutely.
Analytics is a very key aspect of a technology solution because teachers anyways have textbooks and other places where they can generate the content, but it's analytics that forms the basis of what next. So only if you have that analytics can we go ahead and do.
And the granularity of it, not just the analytics, the granularity of it, as in the information that can be derived out of those analytics, how well curated and well structured that information is to provide the sort of recommendations and remediations whenever needed. That basically creates a lot of difference.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Vijay Lakshmi, you were adding some points, and post that if anyone wants to add, they can. Ms. Vijay Lakshmi, you were adding some inputs to this. Ms. Rima, you want to add some points to this question?
No, as of now, nothing.
Okay, so my next question is to Ms. Prema. How can collaboration and interdisciplinary approach enhance creativity and innovation in the education?
Good evening to all. I would like to thank to Q&A organizers because of that we got this platform. I have selected already this topic because it is very, very collaboration and interdisciplinary activities approaches enhancing creativity is very, very important in our society, because collaborating among the students by giving group works and collaborating among the stakeholders. How can we enhance interdisciplinary inside the lessons means, for example, if you are taking anyone, already we know as a CBSE principles, that is interdisciplinary. This one is there, that is the activity, project, everything we are giving. For example, the teacher can itself create and give that. For example, if they're selecting nature as a topic, according to that, the teacher will select the students. Many students are having many skills. For example, I am good in speaking, I'm not good in writing, like that. So we have already, the teacher knew that. So according to that, the teacher select the topic. For example, group 1, like a group discussion, group 2, conversation, group 3, pictorial representation, like that they have to give. In that particular topic itself, all the subject we can bring. We know very well English, nature, in the sense English, those who are good in English, that students can write the poem. Those are good in language, drama. Those are good in science. They can go for like what are the plants and animals are present in the nature, like that. So math also it is there. So like that, there connect the professional development and support all these. But teacher how to create and give. Suppose if you are asked the students to do something, this topic like that, if you are giving, means the students can come up with their ideas. We can get lot of ideas because of this what sir said, no, like medias, everything it is there. So they are selecting that, they are bringing lot of ideas, so we can share all the students. I'm strongly believe collaboration is very, very important, but at the same time the teachers, they have to work accordingly. We have to train the teachers as a leaders. We have to train the teachers what is creativity and what is interdiscipline innovation, everything we have to inform them. Then we have to implement inside the class. This is what my point. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. I would request everyone to put your videos on, because we are on, I think, live YouTube streaming. So, yeah, thank you. Now, coming to Ms. Rima, how can you think that parents can create a home environment that can support students' creativity and in sync with the school's requirements?
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. Most of the parents don't know actually what is this. Like, they have to create a home environment, and they have to collaborate with the school, that is with the teachers and all, to bring out the creativity among the children, which will help the children to do a better learning. So most of the parents, they don't know this at all. So first, this kind of session to be given to parents also, according to my view, because children are here in school only for 8 hours, and the rest of the time they are at home, where the parents also are equally they also take the equal part in creating and building and molding the child. So parents have to collaborate with the educators, mainly with the teachers, and they have to follow certain rules and regulations what is told by the school. For example, mostly in schools they say that avoid sending your child to tuition, because the way of teaching in school is different and tuition is different. But 90% of the parents, they send the children to tuition, saying that no, I don't have time at home to take care of my child, or saying that I'm not at home, so I want my child to go. All these things happen. So for sure, parents have to collaborate with the teachers as well as with the school rules and regulations to bring out very good learning outcome in their child.
Thank you. Mr. Anurag, you want to add something to it? You have risen your hand.
Yes, ma'am. So Rima ma'am rightly said that there is a lot of challenge in getting the parents on board for the child's learning. And we all would agree that parents have to become an active stakeholder in the child's learning process for the child to be successful in the future. Now, some of the challenges that we, during the course of our research for the platform also, we figured out were that parents either have the paucity of time, they are busy with their own jobs and careers, that they are not able to dedicate a lot of time to the children, or they themselves are not aware of, or they do not have the knowledge or understanding of what is being taught at school. So that is one place where technology again has a very important part to get the parents to become active stakeholders in the child's learning process, because we understand and we agree that schools are going to be the primary centers where the child is going to learn. Why the parent is not able to contribute to it is either because they don't have the time or they don't have the knowledge or understanding. So using technology, we can probably be able to provide them insights or inputs on how their child is performing in school in very clear, crystal clear, in a summarized form, with clear takeaways that they can utilize to do something at home, or get back to the teachers and have a consultation and help in the improvement of the child's learning. So that is where I feel technology has a key part to play in bringing the parents back and making them active stakeholders in the child's learning process.
Thank you. Ms. Vijayalakshmi, you want to give any inputs here?
Yes, ma'am. I would like to say, like teachers, how we contribute to the children, we should have a parent meeting to explain, as madam said, explain what we are doing here so that they will continue the same at home. They should be a guide instead of dictating terms to them. So they should also participate instead of demonstrating or dominating the child and doing something. So they have to continue the work, what we do in school, at home also. So they should know, or it's our duty to make them understand. So it's mandatory that we conduct meeting for the parents to make them understand the policies or the methods what we are doing here, because they simply feel that it is only rote learning. So whatever improvisation or upgradation, whatever we do in the system should be intimated to the parents. So they will also understand what we are trying to do here, and they will continue the same at home. So because when we do something and they do a different thing, it's a confusion for the child, which should not happen.
Fair enough. So my next question is to Q&I team. They can start and other panelists can join in. Since they have come up with the solution or platform that is going to help in the coaching we talk about. So what role does the education system play in either fostering or hindering students' creativity and innovation? Because when we, is it related to at systemic level? Is it related to policy decision? Because new education policy, which was drafted, they said that slowly and steadily they wanted to eradicate the so-called dummy schools and coaching centers. But again, we see that there are lots and lots of coaching been given now for the CUET exams also. So what are your views on this, that where to strike that balance, and where it comes from? Where is it a systemic pressure, or is it a policy decision? Whether because of course when you have come up with your product, so you have put in a lot of innovation and a lot of creativity to it. So how do you think you guys can answer to your pertaining to your thing, that how your product can either hinder or foster creativity and educate, or the principals, the fellow principals can take it from there and give their views on that? So maybe any one of you, please. You are on mute.
Yeah. I'll start, then maybe Anurag can pitch in and then carry it forward. So first I'll talk about the product that we have, as in what is it that we are trying to bring in the community for the students and for the tutors. So the basic fundamental on which we have based the entire product is a personalized learning approach to each and every individual. Because we feel that if technology can be used in a better way, then this can actually be achieved. And the way we try to achieve it is, by understanding a student's current learning level first, as in where exactly the student's current learning level is. And then by diagnosing that learning level, the gaps and the challenges in the students, understanding of the topic, as well as if there are any in the skills that he must have. So by understanding these, shortcomings and the levels, from there, we basically try to frame their learning journey and then gradually elevate them up to a level where they'll be able to, solve questions and, answer the questions in the examination. That too in a very adaptive manner. So few of the terms that we have, heard in the entire conversation is sort of personalized learning, adaptive learning, experiential learning. And this is what the entire platform is, based on and is working on to provide that adaptive learning to the child, so that not just the platform adapts to the learning level of the student, but also gradually elevates them in a very gradual manner, not just abrupt manner of from simple to difficult, and then from difficult to coming back to medium. So there has to be a continuity in the learning process, and this is what the platform is trying to bring in form of the adaptive learning that we are talking about. And at the same time, since we have seen that the analytics, role of analytics that is going to play, not just for the student, but also for the tutors, as in the students will be able to understand that where exactly are their learning gaps, not just at the conceptual level, but also at the skill level. And at the same time, the tutor will also have those insights so that they'll be able to help the students to overcome those roadblocks that they are facing in their learning journey. And coming back to after highlighting what is it that the students must do or the tutors must do, comes the remedial actions and interventions, which is basically provided on the platform itself through all the data. Because as we say, data not just comes through the analytics of analysis of the test and assessment that the students do, but also the sort of engagement that they have with the platform. So using that data, what is the interventions or remedial actions that are to be proposed to the students is what we have come up with a solution. Now, this was stressing on the part that how exactly we have made the platform and how it works not just for the students but also for the educators, to bring more effective learning to the students. At the same time, the question that you posed, that with all the policies and the government coming up with NEP and then examination like CUET, to basically curb on the existing parallel infrastructures other than schools, which the students not only are devoting a lot of their time in the school, but also going to these parallel structures, and then ultimately are not having enough time to have a proper self-study, and basically investing themselves in their process of learning and not be in control of the entire learning process. So I feel that if platforms and learning solutions could be provided in such a way that they'll not create a parallel structure, rather they'll basically help the existing structures of learning, like schools and colleges that are already there, and supplement them with these extra inputs that are absolutely essential to ensure a smooth, not just a smooth learning delivery, but also a smooth learning outcome. If that is available, like the platform that we have, so that will basically not just empower the current structures, education structures, but also, provide sort of a control of learning in the hands of students. Anurag, if you want to add a few points to it as well.
So Akash has, rightly pointed out on how and what the philosophy behind the Q&A platform is. Coming back to the question on is it a systemic problem? So when you're talking about the education system, the schools, as well as these parallel, the coaching institutions or the online education companies that sprang up during the COVID times, all that together form the education system. Now, when these companies, or when you look at the coaching institutes as well, what they try to do is build a parallel structure, as Akash was talking about. They don't complement what is already there. See, school education system has been in place for a very long time. It's a robust system. Now, whenever a new coaching institute or a new online company comes and it starts to reteach everything that you're teaching at school, that is where the problem is. So yes, the problem is at the systemic level in the redefined education system that we are trying to project with coachings and other bodies in place as well. So what we want to do, how we foster creativity and innovation as a company, is by partnering or collaborating with the school. We believe that learning or imparting learning to the students is primarily the responsibility of the teachers at school. We are there to just empower them with tools, with data to make that decision, and also provide real-time feedback so that their whole recommendation process or their learning process becomes streamlined and more efficient.
Thank you. Anybody wants to add? Ms. Geeta, Ms. Vijayalakshmi, Ms. Prema, do you want to add something to this? Okay, so last but not the least, see, I strongly feel that any educator can deliver what they possess. So this question is to all the principals one by one. So starting from Ms. Prema, what role according to you does the professional development plays in having the professional development of teachers? It plays in ensuring that we are able to promote innovation and creativity and other 21st century skills in the classroom. So over to you, Ms. Prema.
Yes, ma'am. The teachers, if they are taking, because the teachers are sculpting the Elaya Bharata. So teachers, first they have to, nowadays, teachers are good. Some teachers are good in creativity. Some teachers are not having that. They have to develop that. For that, professional training, development support, and educator need to effectively promote the creative inside the classroom means, as per my knowledge, we have to give many training sessions to them.
Okay,
Then only they'll. Okay, thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Ms. Geeta? You have to unmute yourself.
Okay. So I feel that PD offers a strong field for creativity. Professional development offers a strong field for creativity. Actually, what they have bought and they will go and deliver it to the classrooms. So I prefer that more of professional developments and a lot of inward thinking and design thinking of the leader. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ms. Vijayalakshmi?
Yes, ma'am. So what I feel is like now the CBSE is providing with a lot of workshops and seminars. So if the teachers are allowed to take part in the workshop and seminars, I think that will be really useful for them to upgrade themselves in their knowledge, and they have to have internal department-wise workshop to develop their knowledge and in the curriculum, according to the curriculum. They can create innovative thoughts with their peer group teachers, department-wise, and they can come out with new ideas. So it's our duty to give them the platform to do that. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Azhar, your viewpoints?
Yeah, apart from whatever has been told, PD sessions and creativity for creativity, I would suggest like the culture of the teachers is like whatever it is, whether it is right and wrong, they should be allowed to express. The freedom of expression is what will allow them to think creatively and come up with the solutions. Then can be evaluated. That's what my point is.
Okay. Okay. So I think thank you for everyone for being here. And though I don't think that quantity wise it was a good discussion, but yes, quality wise we could cover all the important points. And I always feel that more than quantity, quality matters. So my concluding remarks is that since we are heading towards a new generation, a new skill-based education, so we as educators cannot be in today's business with yesterday's tools. So we have to have a growth mindset ourselves. We have to be innovative, creative in our approach rather than problem creators. We need to be problem solvers for our students and as well as teachers. And with that, also creativity and innovation and technology, AI, chat GPT, everything is going to stay. And it is on us to strengthen ourselves with these skills and make them our strengths so that we are able to survive in the world of education. So over to you, Sandeep, now.
Thank you so much, ma'am. This was such a wonderful session. Unfortunately, a couple of educators have facing network issues. We've all been talking about technology and its implementations, but a simple Wi-Fi and a network connection basically disturbs us from doing the most simplest of tasks. uh, any which ways, this was such a wonderful session. Thank you, Dr. Vasudha, Prema ma'am, uh, RS Geeta ma'am, Vijay Lakshmi ma'am, Azhar sir, for joining in for such a amazing session. I would now move to Mr. Anurag Chandraji, who's the product head of Q&I, to conclude this amazing first session of Q&I TalkEd series.
Thank you, Sandeep. Thank you for allowing me. Let me thank everyone for attending today's discussion and also contributing to to all the various questions that Vasudha ma'am put up. We believe that the perspectives that have been offered by all our panelists, they have basically highlighted the importance of innovative teaching methods and strategies to adapt to the changing student needs, or the changing 21st century student needs, as Dr. Brijesh also pointed out. Improving learning and delivery in education is an evolving process, and we were happy to facilitate this in this important forum. Special thanks to Sandeep for hosting, and Vasudha ma'am for facilitating the discussion. One of the key takeaways for us here has been that technology and teachers will prove to be a winning combination for fostering creativity and innovation in future. However, a balanced use of technology that complements what the teachers teach in the class is probably the way to go about. Also, to aid the teachers' professional development, to upskill, would also be able to improve the innovation and the creativity aspect that we are trying to bring about in our existing education system. We would also like to thank Dr. Brijesh Karya for sharing his thoughts on the future of education and talking about the 21st century student. And we also extend our sincere thanks to all our panelists who have participated and shared their thoughts despite some disturbances that I hear have been happening in Chennai. And thank you for making the discussion interactive and purposeful as well. We feel that all the panel members here who are experienced educators, and us as an organization that is dedicated to improving learning outcomes for the children and also to empower teachers, there is a lot of common ground to explore and collaborate in the future. So we look forward to connecting with each one of you present here offline at a time of your convenience to take the discussion forward. And we would again thank all of you. And we would also be sharing, I guess, a virtual kit with all of you post the discussion. And in case you're interested to know more about Q&I, do go through our brochure and the website, and feel free to drop us a line. We'll be very happy to help you out with that. And we look forward to an opportunity to connect with each one of you in person in near future. Thanks a lot for participating.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was such a wonderful session. To all the wonderful viewers, do not stay tuned on this amazing TalkEd series. Episode 2 is coming tomorrow. 3 o'clock to 4:30 is the timings. And we have another set of 8 to 9 odd good educators talking about a really interesting topic tomorrow as well. So stay tuned, and we'll see you on this amazing Talking Education series presented by Q&I and India Today Initiative. Thank you. Have a wonderful one ahead.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.